Fifth inning, 2-0 Phils, bases loaded. Bobby Abreu takes a strike looking. He's not all that happy about it. He's going to give the ump the old stink eye. Next pitch, takes another strike. Larry Vanover, the man behind the plate. This time he's earned himself a little verbiage. Then Abreu strikes out looking. He's not happy at all now. Now, when Larry Bowa comes out, and he's the voice of reason in the discussion, you know the player is pretty upset. As Bowa said later, Abreu, quote, never, ever, ever, ever gets tossed. And you know what they say, you should never, ever say, never, ever, ever.
Now, Bobby Abreu certainly not happy with the called strikeout to end the bottom of the first inning. Ejected by Angel Campos. It's a 3-2 pitch. Bobby thinking the pitch was below the knees. Bobby's got a pretty good idea of the strike zone. And as it goes, you can't argue balls and strike.
Belly Art, a chopper. David Wright, foul ground. Look at that, but safe. Evidently, it was a bobble on the part of Castillo. David Wright chose second base instead of first. And Castillo will get his 7th error of the year. The ball was touching his glove, but did he have control? This was a quick toss.
Oh, I think he threw Castillo
it's
out.
Castillo that's been tossed out of the game.
Got tossed out.
DL shortly, Brad Radke. It's Eric Davis. For the 4th inning, Davis gets it on the inside. Doesn't like that call and says to Winters, allow myself to introduce myself. Get his 8-game hitting streak snapped because he got chased as a result.
And again, the 3-2. Call strike 3. Fastball came back to catch the inside corner. That is strikeout number 6 for Mark Burley.
Just had a pretty legitimate beef on that one.
And we're going to get somebody thrown out of the game. Must be Elvis. The way that Beltre was standing over there trying to shield Elvis from home plate umpire Eric Cooper, and then Ron Washington immediately out of the dugout. But Elvis basically standing on the top step screaming at Eric Cooper. And the pitch called strike 3. Elvis didn't think so. But what's important is Oberholzer got the call. 5 strikeouts now for the Astros left-hander. We finished 3 and no score.
Elvis in the top of the 6th. Gibson with a 3-1 pitch to Elvis Andrus. Elvis thought it was ball 4. Home plate umpire says strike 2. On the very next pitch, Andrus grounds out weakly to short. That is out number 2 of the inning. Now as Elvis makes his way back to the dugout, he has some unkind words for the home plate umpire, who promptly runs him from the game despite the protests of Ron Washington and company.
A heck of a development that while we were away for a commercial, as Sean Figgins was into it with the umpires, in particular with the first base umpire, and has been ejected from this ball game. There's Tim Shida. And
Figgins, I think, still wasn't happy about the 3-1 pitch.
Coco Crisp on the ground. Crisp is not going to like this, the call. He bumps first base ump Ed Rapuano. Crisp would be ejected for that. Oh yeah, I know. It was a love tap. Eric Wedge also coming out to argue. He is gone as well. Crisp needs a new helmet.
Crisp struck out looking, fired down his bat, his helmet, and Fleming kicked him out of the game. Yankees lead by 2 into the bottom of the 8th.
Shields hits Crisp, and Coco is going to head out. Here we go.
Pitch, and then Coco swings at that one. He throws the bat at the umpire, and he is gone.
And he just threw him out. Yeah. And Bob Melvin.
So he flipped the bat, and it may have hit the umpire, came very close to the umpire, and he was immediately thrown out.
Swing and a miss. Crisp strikes out for the 2nd time tonight, and he's jawed hard with Bob Davidson, and Crisp goes back after Davidson.
batting, second baseman, number 19, Jamal Weeks.
Looks at strike 2 from Darryl Cousins, home plate umpire, and then Roger Cedeno goes down swinging and lets Cousins know a touch or two about his strike zone, and yes, another ejection. And Cedeno needs to be restrained by Juan Samuel. That's how his 9-game hit streak ended.
Slow roller, could be trouble. Ventura's got to hustle a throw. Got him! And a fine pick by Giambi, and Cedeno's out of the game. He threw his helmet and almost hit Wally Bell, the first base umpire, and Cedeno was immediately heaved.
Score, top 8th. Roger Cedeno at bat, 0 for 4 in the game. Can't quite check his swing. Rick Reed initially called it a ball, then said Cedeno had swung. Tells him to get back in the box, and Cedeno will have nothing of it. Slams the bat down, he cracks the bat. He's done. So are the Cards, who lost it 7-3.